Fett
He'll
is...
be completely deep-faked. He won't be there, just like that Bruce
Oh,
Willis
okay.
commercial. Yeah,
I get it.
They've got so much of him. They can just take his voice and they can do that Mark Hamill thing they did in Mando, right? They'll make a fake him in season in the Boba Fett TV show that I know you guys didn't watch. Good for you. They show like the updated version of Luke Skywalker, like fake Luke Skywalker. It's really good. They got better from Mando to Boba Fett.
I would watch movies like that.
Yeah.
Did you watch Andor?
I tried, man. I really tried. When they got to that Scottish chubby guy, he was great. He was like the sergeant and was like gonna like getting this. But man, the main guy just couldn't carry it for me, and I didn't care. It seemed like it was all about his goddamn sister, and I didn't care about that. And I just checked out, dude. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, was that so? You only saw like episode 1 and 2 or something like that, right?
Maybe 3 episodes. I think I gave it 3. Yeah,
if there
I
was a Star Wars Breaking Bad show, this is literally better than Star Wars Breaking Bad. It's really good about Andor. I was not in the fucking mood. I was like done with Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan was just hard to like get, and my scars from the new sequel haven't healed yet. And I just was like, what's that?
You hated the new Star Wars?
I really liked Force Awakens. I thought J.J. Abrams did something really tricky. He introduced characters that I cared about. I liked Rey, Finn, and Poe. Then I saw The Last Jedi, and I was like, whoa, crazy decisions. I've never seen Star Wars be so bold. Hold on. Let them finish. And then J.J. Abrams came back in and just pissed himself for that last one. And I was like, now that this last one's out, I hate the 2 before it.
Yeah.
Because now that the last one's out, I thought you had a fucking plan.
Matrix 3 did
imagine
that
you're fucking you're Johnny Disney and you're posted up. You're like, can't wait to hear this this Star Wars script. And JJ Abrams comes in, he's like, here's episode 7. And you're like, hey, just episode 7? He's like, yeah, we're gonna make up 8 and 9 later, but this is how it's gonna start. I'd be like, no, go back. It all is one. But they didn't do that. Not only that, episode 7, you read the whole thing. I'd be like, why is Luke Skywalker not in the movie? J.J. Abrams said that he felt that Luke Skywalker was stealing every scene he was in. And I was like, oh, sounds like a pretty fucking good problem, buddy.
Yeah.
Sounds like you don't want the movie to be too cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want that character everybody likes.
Reminds me of The Dark Knight. Remember the Joker? Yeah, you remember the Joker. We love that. Yeah. We love when someone comes and steals a scene, especially when they have decades of buildup. What'd you do? J.J. Abrams put him on an island for 25 years, handed the script off to Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson was like, why is he on an island? And J.J. Abrams was like, I don't know, man, figure it out.
He learned from Yoda.
But I would have been like,
the only answer.
Bro, don't give me a fucking episode 7 with no Luke Skywalker. And if he was like, I don't know how to write him, I'd be like, I don't fucking care. You don't need to do much, buddy. But what you got to do is we got Harrison Ford, we have Mark Hamill, we have Princess Leia, we have all of these people alive. We need them to fucking hug.
It was too late. It was too late for all that shit. They should have made that shit in 2005.
Regardless, you got them alive. Let them meet.
I guess so.
They didn't have a reason.
They're bringing Rey back for new sequels.
Yeah, I just read that today recently.
I don't mind Rey back because I don't give a shit anymore. What did
you want from Luke? What did you want him to do? Like, if you were to write it, because I was glad Luke had a minimal part.
I never had an issue with how they did everything up until the end of episode 8.
Can I give you a script for Luke?
Yeah.
Have Luke be turning the cheek every moment of the movie. Have him being harassed in a small setting. It doesn't need to affect the whole galaxy. That's for the next movie. He's on this world just trying to be his nomad man self, but they're just slapping around, pissing in his face the whole fucking movie. But you've got a character there, maybe a droid. He's like, sir, why do you allow them to treat you this way? And he hits him with that Jedi wisdom over and over about some, and then at the end, when they go too far and they rape, murder like his droid, then he like zoom, but it's not the green saber, it's the red one. He's got the red one, and he fucking like cuts them all down, but not just the men, but the women and the children.
Kyle, your talents are wasted on this show. I want to watch that movie.
Like, do that for me. If you're gonna ruin Luke Skywalker, turn him to the fucking dark side. Just do that. Don't let him go out like a bitch.
They didn't ruin Luke Skywalker, nor did they make him look like a bitch. And I'll tell you exactly how. The only way he was ruined was J.J. Abrams put him on the island for 25 years and didn't think through why. So what Rian Johnson did with that, I think, was extremely talented as a writer. And I think as a director, I think he made a visually pleasing Star Wars. Yeah, there's very ugly scenes like the casino stuff or whatever. But what I liked about this is going into episode 7, 8, 9, we were always like, Luke Skywalker's a god. He'll fucking blow up the Death Star with his mind. He could he could bring down a Star Destroyer and crumple it up into a fucking ball. He's the ultimate Jedi. That's how I always felt. So going into 7, 8, 9, I'm like, I need Luke Skywalker when there's like a fucking whoever these new First Order stormtroopers are, when they raid like a fucking rebel ship and there's like 1,000 of them and they all come in with their guns and they shoot their blasters. I want it all to freeze like Professor X style. And like Luke Skywalker walks in,
and the music comes on.
Yeah, and it's like quiet and everyone's frozen. But Luke is normal and he can just walk through and he grabs his friends and he like takes them out. Or maybe he goes and he fucking slices them all. Like, but they can't even compete with the level he's at. He's a god. He's a fucking god. That's all I thought about. And then 7 came out and they didn't even give it to us. And I'm like, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? And this was the beauty of episode 8 that a lot of people I recognize was not delivered clear, like in a way that is processed to everyone, but I processed it this way. I thought Luke was a god. Episode 8 comes out. He's a fucking man. He's a human being. And people are like, he fucking almost killed Kylo. Luke, who couldn't kill his own dad, who was so bold to tell the Emperor, no, I am a Jedi. He almost killed his son. I could tell you that, like, the amount that I've changed from 20 years old to 37 is huge. I could just imagine from 20 to 65, you get sick as shit. As a human being, you do get sick of shit. And also as a young male, you are more bold. My attitude on Epic Mealtime or even coming on a PKA was way more bold when I was younger compared to now. And Luke is just a fucking human. But here was the beauty in what Rian Johnson did. Luke is just a human being. And he's not the god that I thought he was, but he used his force to stand in front of the First Order there and get blasted by all those ATSTs, the super ones. And he dodged on Kylo. His friends escaped. He wasn't even there. And what I thought was so amazing about that was they showed the kid playing with the toy at the end. Remember the wooden toy? And he was like, Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. And I'm like, look what they did. They got
the Chinese money.
They made Luke. No, there was a wooden toy. It was made in America, real America.
I thought you were doing like a Chinese child accent.
Oh, no, it was not. It was a Twi'lek accent. But anyway, so the kid's like playing. He's like Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. He thinks Luke is a god, and they show that to us. So in the universe of Star Wars, Luke Skywalker is the god that we thought he was. Us, the audience. We went in there thinking that Luke is going to stand in front of 5 ATSTs with no fucking lightsaber and they're going to blast him and it's not going to do shit. But he's not a god. He's a human being. We, the audience, are in on that. But to the rest of the galaxy, he's the fucking next level Jedi god that we thought he was, because the kid saw him stand in front of the ATSTs and he plays with the toys. And now what I loved about it was they nixed the bloodline. Nothing is ever good from a bloodline. And I like that Rey was a nobody. I hate that they doubled back on that. I love that, like, Luke, the Skywalkers existed. And I love that they were inherently an evil family, not a good family. And maybe that's what the Force needed. Who knows what? I have no idea where it was going to go or where it could have gone. And I just hate that a lot of things were doubled back on. So it makes everything that I'm hyping up stupid now.
Can I tell you about a better way to handle that scene? Because it's from a movie called V for Vendetta. At the very end of that movie, V is standing in front of the big bad guy and all of his henchmen. And he's letting them know that he has the upper hand. And the bad guy kind of scoffs at him. He's like, what are you going to do with all you have is your karate and your knives? We have guns. And he says, no, what you have are bullets. And the hope that when they're all gone, I'm not still standing. and then he starts fucking running toward them in slow motion while
16,
they
by
like
the way.
light him up.
Yeah, great.
And he kills them all in like slow motion with knives and shit. And at the end of that scene, it's revealed he did have body armor on, but they've killed him. He's mortally wounded. He's given his life to do that crazy thing. I'm okay if Luke does that. They're always batting away those fucking things. Let him go no defense mode, like full offense into, I don't know, all those goddamn AT-ATs. I just want to see him go out.
I don't want.
Me too.
You know what I didn't want? Let me give a chance on this. I've been quiet for 15 minutes. So I didn't want old fucking super fat lard of shit Mark Hamill, who was a good 300 pounds, too fucking fat to play that role, to be some superhero, this legend that we were talking about. No, he's a washed up old man who let himself go, and he can't be an action hero anymore. Don't ask me to believe that Luke Fat Crawler, whatever he is at this point, can possibly do anything to the Empire. No, he's washed up. He's a worthless fat piece of shit, and he needs to be in that role. So what they did with him, I thought, was better than what they did with like CGI Yoda, which I also enjoyed. But if they did that to Luke Skywalker and made that fat piece of shit some sort of flipping lightsaber savant who could take on battle stars by himself,
I see what you're saying. I get that. I get that.
Washed up old men are washed up old men, and they need to know their role.
What I liked also about Last Jedi, and what I also hate, what I found out is apparently at the end of The Force Awakens, when she gives Luke the lightsaber, JJ had him turn it on.
Luke Skywalker. That's what I could have came up with. I'm a minute late. Luke Skywalker.
But he wasn't fat.
He was fat. He
gave it.
Fat.
He
lost a lot of weight.
He did lose a ton of weight,
but he was still fat.
But listen, JJ Abrams had Luke turn on the lightsaber at the end of Force Awakens. In Last Jedi, Rian Johnson got that cut and was like, you have to change the ending. And JJ was like, why? And he was like, because in my cut, he throws it over his shoulder. So if he turns it on, it's not going to make sense. That's how like discombobulated and disjointed these idiots were making a fucking 3-piece movie. That's how it was. He showed it to me. He's like, you can't do that. It's like, how the fuck did you not know this? How'd you guys not discuss this? But what I thought was interesting, and people hated him tossing the lightsaber to Woody's point, I recognized right then and there. I was like, oh yeah, how stupid of me. The fuck is a stupid sword gonna do? He's the Jedi Master. It's not gonna be done or decided with the fucking sword. Even when Yoda was General Yoda and he was doing flips and backflips, that's when he got by the Sith. That's when they planned behind him. He was focused on the wrong thing. When she gave him the lightsaber, as a real Jedi, is like, I don't have a fucking attachment to this thing. I'm a Jedi. Toss it over his shoulder. Or fuck the Jedi, toss it over his shoulder. But it was a fascinating
but you know what
decision.
they're doing. It's more about like slapping the fan. I feel slapped in the face when you take the nostalgia and the member berries and you, instead of finding a way to use them, you just slap me in the face with them. I'll give an example of where it's done well.
Good, though. Like, I thought they were good.
Do you follow Star Trek, like Next Generation? Did you watch that shit?
Yeah.
Like I say Picard and Worf, you know what's up. Yeah. So the season 3 of Picard, they're just doing full on the Next Generation. They brought the entire old ass cast back. They're old as fuck.
You watched season 1 and season 2 of Picard?
That costume is designed.
Yeah, and I didn't like them.
I watched season 1. Didn't really. I was like, okay,
you got him. Woody, he's fat.
Thank you. The topic.
Let's see his ankles.
It always changes, but dude, this is not an action hero. This guy can't.
No, but that's a Jedi. He fucking doesn't have to lift his hand. He literally doesn't have to do anything to be an action hero in this universe. He literally, the older and fatter he looks, the more wise and like Buddhist type. Like, yeah, like this guy only
get it. He can like do this or
but I never wanted to see a backflip lightsaber
at this point. I don't want
what you're saying. I didn't want him to do a backflip like that. I thought the little twisting turn under Kylo's blade was the coolest amount of acrobatics that he did. That was cool to me in terms of like what an older Luke Skywalker would do.
But he could have done backflips because like my understanding is like yes, Yoda wasn't so strong that he could flip around. Like
he could run up a building.
He's using the Force to like manipulate things. So like even
Luke
fat Mark Hamill
stronger than him. Luke Skywalker could run up a building.
So Luke could be morbidly obese and his legs could not work. He could still flip around because it's the Force doing all that, right?
I wish
he's not jumping.
Instead of a lightsaber, he just had a turkey leg, and he's eating it.
They
while
almost
he's
did that. They were
fighting.
literally, they had him sucking alien tit milk like live.
Dude, when he drank the tit milk, I was just like, man, y'all just don't take this shit seriously. It's always for kids. I don't think your universe is for me.
Y'all just don't take this seriously.
See, I like that part.
You know what I mean? It's like I need
this
to
fucking
that.
Kids movie.
That's where I am. If I'm being honest,
Wars.
that's where I am with Star Wars and the whole universe. Is that this is for children and maybe immature adults, but it's not for me.
But I want to. You don't watch Andor, and Andor's the one that is. Andor's like the dungeon soap.
And I fucking try.
Andor's like
Andor. I saw the whole thing, and I paid attention to every minute, and I had closed captions on, and I read every word, and it was just dull.
But you know, you say dull. I too. I'm a man who appreciates the fine arts like Avengers Endgame, as yourself. I know when I'm consuming an Avengers Endgame piece of content, and I put on Andor, and as soon as he shot that guy in the first episode, I turned to my girlfriend and I was like, "You don't need to watch this. I'm going to watch this alone. This one's for me." I thought we were getting some Baby Yoda type shit. I had no
12?
idea what it would be.
How old is your girlfriend?
She's going to be 18 in 2 months.
Well, she's 61 and very attached to the original.
Oh, sorry, honey, I didn't realize this is teen for teen. Get the fuck out of here.
I thought it was going to be like Baby Yoda filler, fucking mobile game Boba Fett type shit. And I was like, oh, it's a different show. I don't want to answer a question during this. I want to watch, and I didn't put it on when I felt like some action shit. I put it on when I was like,
instead of
wanting to watch Succession or Andor.
You should have paused it and said, "Hey, this isn't the show I thought it was. Hush out of you, hush. All right, woman, this is important." Shh. And if she ever gets confused, probably just one backhand will get it done.
Can I tell you, like, I joked about it earlier, but I think we've lost something from the 80s that they had in the 70s they had figured out, and that was how to motivate your protagonist, how to get your guy on a mission. Like I don't know. I feel like all these movies we're talking about, it's like, yeah, we need you. Please come back.
Well, you touched on this earlier, and I was going to say something. You said earlier we were talking about aliens, and you were like, if you sit there with your arms crossed and watch the movies, back in the 80s, no one ever did that. I watch movies now, and people are like, why would they go there? I'm like, back then, you didn't ask that. You never went on Twitter after the movie and went, you're right. Why did he go there? The guy went there, and the movie happened.
Death Wish?
Yeah.